On 17th September this year, a landmark shift occurred in Middle Eastern and South Asian geopolitics. At the Al Yamama Palace in Riyadh, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif signed the Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement, or the SMDA. The pact declared that any aggression against either country shall be considered an aggression against both. This makes it the most consequential defense agreement between an Arab Gulf state and a nuclear power in decades. Let's break this down in today's episode of TAC Explained. The Saudi-Pakistan defense relationship is not new. Its roots stretch back to the 1960s. During the North Yemen civil war, Egypt's intervention had threatened Saudi security, and then Pakistani troops were quietly deployed into the kingdom. This initial collaboration was given a structure in 1967. A technical cooperation agreement in defense and civil aviation was signed between these two countries right after the Arab-Israeli war. Now, by the 1970s, this cooperation had expanded into a full-fledged military partnership. As many as 15,000 Pakistani troops were stationed across Saudi Arabia, serving both as trainers and as advisors. Meanwhile, thousands of Saudi soldiers and aviators traveled to Pakistan for structured military training programs. Now, the two countries also signed the 1982 Protocol Agreement for deputation of Pakistan Armed Forces personnel and military training, formalizing this collaboration even further. It created the Saudi-Pakistan Armed Forces Organization and authorized the deployment of Pakistani forces to strategically sensitive regions such as Tabuk and the eastern province of Saudi Arabia. By the mid-1980s, more than 20,000 Pakistani troops were stationed in the kingdom, playing both training and operational roles. The relationship was tested and proven during the Gulf War of 1990 and 91, when Pakistan dispatched 11,000 soldiers to Saudi Arabia to safeguard borders and holy sites against possible spillover from Iraq's invasion to Kuwait. Over the decades, Pakistan has trained more than 8,000 Saudi military personnel. Its officers also helped design the organizational and the doctrinal foundation of the Saudi armed forces, and advisory missions continue even till today. Now, coming to the SMDA of 2025, this agreement carries multiple layers of strategic intent. For Saudi Arabia, the pact enhances deterrence against Iran, Yemen's Houthi militias, and even potential Israeli aggression. It also allegedly provides access to Pakistan's nuclear umbrella and reduces reliance on the United States for security. For Pakistan, the deal ensures critical financial lifelines, including Saudi investments and direct support exceeding $6 billion. It also elevates Pakistan's global standing as a pan-Islamic security provider and embeds it firmly within the Gulf security architecture. While the official text of this agreement continues to remain classified, a senior Saudi official confirmed it encompasses all military means. This has fueled speculation about nuclear guarantees. Pakistan's defense minister initially hinted at nuclear aspects before quickly retracting this statement, thus creating deliberate ambiguity. Whether this amounts to extended nuclear deterrence remains an open question, but the speculation itself is enough to unsettle regional balances. India has responded cautiously, with the Ministry of External Affairs announcing it would study the implications of this development for India's national security as well as for the regional and global stability. Several elements of this agreement are troubling from an Indian perspective. Firstly, Saudi financing could significantly bolster Pakistan's military capabilities. Secondly, any Indian military action against Pakistan could theoretically draw Saudi involvement. And finally, India's long-standing efforts to isolate Pakistan diplomatically could be undermined. Even with all these issues, India continues to retain strong economic leverage in its relationship with Saudi. Bilateral trade reached almost $43 billion in 2023, and New Delhi is confident that Riyadh will not allow defense commitments to damage existing economic ties with India. But the major question remains that do these defense pacts even work? Mutual defense agreements historically carry mixed records of effectiveness. Between 1816 to 1944, states honored such commitments 81% of the time. But after 1945, that rate dropped sharply to just 7%. Specifically, defense pacts were fulfilled only 41% of the time, while offensive alliances enjoyed higher credibility at 73%. In the post-war era, overall alliances of all kinds were honored only about 22% of the time at average. Even NATO's Article 5 has only been invoked once after 9/11, and even that took nearly 3 weeks of deliberation before figuring out how to implement it. This agreement reflects a broader shift. Declining confidence in the US as the primary Gulf security guarantor, a rising multipolar order in the Middle East, and early signs of what some analysts call an Islamic NATO, though its scope remains highly uncertain. Iran is likely to view this agreement as deeply threatening to itself, given its turbulent history with both Riyadh and Islamabad. The pact could accelerate Tehran's military buildup. But coming to Israel, the calculus is more complicated. On one hand, Saudi-Pakistan cooperation strengthens deterrence against Iran. On the other hand, the potential introduction of nuclear dimensions into Gulf conflicts heightens Israel's existing anxiety. The Saudi-Pakistan Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement is both a culmination of decades of cooperation and a response to contemporary challenges. Yet, history warns that mutual defense pacts often falter when tested, with less than 1/4 of post-World War alliances honored in practice. For India, the pact demands careful balancing, leveraging its strong economic ties with Saudi Arabia while preparing for potential shifts in Pakistan's military posture. That is all from us today. This is Garima, and you are watching The Asian Chronicles.